slowly heading towards B main, but slowly is the operative word there because a couple of them are hiding outside, not willing to even show themselves if there was any sort of CT aggression. Zusi, though, is making a little bit of noise today. There's actually two members in the site. Vox previously have played retake A on a few previous matches, but they are trying to hold the site. But Zusi, the solo man, he's already got one headshot, and this is going to cause a rotation perhaps, because you can see, whilst he's got two frags, the bulk of the attack will come into B, and it's caught Vox Eminor off guard here, and as Chris O'Well here behind the boxing checkers tries to finish the job, he will at least be able to relay to his teammates the positioning of Nova, and short-lived here, I think, with 57 health points left.
It was a fantastic fake from Zusi, selling it really well, that secondary smoke, just shutting off any potential information someone had at forklift and really putting Vox Eminor into a bit of a panic. So they do know where Nova is now. That flash, they won't actually push it, but he's going to go toe-to-toe with Lightstep here. It does take him. We'll go for this plant. The clock, though, really isn't in his favour too much, and that plant is for nobody, it would seem, but nonetheless, he's not going to have time to defuse this. A good pistol round from Chiefs, and a good start to this match.
Yeah, incredible work there by Zeus here. There's one thing faking a site, and there's another thing going solo and killing all members in that site as a fake. I mean, instantly you can just tell the impact that that's going to have on the rotation for Vox Eminor. They're always placed in a tough position when they lost those two members a day. Good work at the end there by Nova, just to try and keep them honest a little bit, get a couple of frags, but I think that round was probably done and dusted as soon as Zusi got those two frags a day. Great round, and we will see now Chiefs on an anti-eco. A lot of SMGs, I think 3 across the board, even a pistol or 2. But crucially here, though, Jim, Vox, they have full sport. We do see the scouts in the hands of Nova, not renowned for really his rifling, or his sniper rifling, I should say, skills.
Yeah, look, I think it's just more or less he had the money to do it, and Moe shows us he's fairly proficient with that deagle there, simply flattening Pietro in the sunroom. Now, not getting too aggressive across the board other than that one push out in B main, though. Vox Eminor just content to let Chiefs come at them. Chiefs, on the other hand, are just playing a waiting game themselves and just seeking out any potential pushes. Now, Sicko has rotated back onto his A site, and that looks to be the objective here for Chiefs. They're going to put that man up on the boost in mid, and he does spot the shoulder there of Nova, just peeking across. Great shot from Zusi. 2 bullets was all that was needed to eliminate him, and now they are going to execute onto this A site. They do have 2 members there, Sicko, and I believe it's Koze sitting in that A site, so they're going to be on point in just a moment. Now, Koze doing some great work there at the forklift, picking up 3 frags with that 5-7 before Chriso is able to step around the corner. And now a 2v1 with that bomb down. He has to collect it first and make his way around. Now, in the meantime, RBZ's made his way to quad, shooting him in the back there. Unaware, Chriso simply falling victim to an easy frag for RBZ.
Yeah, I was trying to say, this is actually something we saw from last night. If we cast our minds back in between that Vox Legacy game on Cobblestone, the first map, Vox actually lost the pistol, but then they won the subsequent force-up by, I think, Sicko at the time went absolutely ballistic with 4, 5, 7 kills, but they've definitely shown that ability in the past to really make those pistols work for them, so great job. I think Chiefs will be a little bit disappointed with the manner in which they executed onto the site there, seemingly one at a time, but as a result, they have force bought all they can, trying to wrestle back that momentum very quickly. So you can see the Tech 9s, even a Pizza 50 in the heads of Lightstep, and a few good utility grenades there, so quite an arsenal between them. Hopefully, for their sake, they can put them to good use. We do see Pietro leading the charge out, normally the entry fragger, or lurker, I should say, now becoming the entry fragger in this round, but Sicko doing a great job alongside Koze and Nova there, really stopping them in their tracks before they can get too much speed underneath their feet. But Lightstep, for his trouble, has got 2 frags. He'll need to do it a few more, though, if he's to have any hope of getting the bomb down. He is trapped at the quad box. They do know where he is, and a HE will surely seal the deal for the team there.
Yeah, not bad work from Lightstep there. Somehow managing to get through the smoke. Now, great work from Koze setting that up, combining with Sicko, just not allowing them easy passage, but somehow Snakewell, or should I say Lightstep, swindling through that smoke and picking up 2 frags. So, what looked like a good anti-eco round, just made to pay a little bit for some handiwork from Lightstep. Now, Chiefs have sent themselves primarily across this B. Now, they are on almost a full eco. Lightstep has 2 flashes and a smoke, but will fall to Moe. So, big investment there, not paying dividends, and now it's just simply a cleanup crew job here in the B main, and only Chriso on 1 HP. It's only a matter of time before they found him out. Great work there from Vox Eminor, just holding strong against that eco. Lightstep taken out early with that utility, which was key to that round.
Yeah, definitely. But like you said, there wasn't that much investment. So even though it did go a bit pear-shaped for them, I think they'll be brushing that off quite quickly. Great work by Moe as well with the 4K. That always helps to boost the confidence. And like we said last night, a little bit upset with the result, so those sort of rounds will certainly help get him back on the right page. But we can see the force buy coming out here from Chiefs, and at least 3 of them putting a lot of pressure on B-Main quite early. I don't think they have any intent to take the site, more so perhaps to gain checkers control, because they've laid down a few nice little utility grenades to try and get Zeusy at least into that sort of area, something that's very reminiscent of Team Immunity's play. But RBZ, he's certainly onto that fact at the moment, and he's put up some sort of resistance, does quite a lot of damage onto Zeusy. He's down to half HP. Pietro, though, with a nice little shot there onto Moe. So this pressure at B is doing a great job at the moment, and it's forcing a rotation out of Vox Eminor as they try and stop this aggression from Team Chiefs.
And they do get that pick into B nice and quickly. Zeusy finding RBZ. Now, there is a lurker in mid, and whether Sicko will recognise that in time, not quite the case, as Tux manages to take him down, and before you know it, there's only 2 members of Vox Eminor left. So they are backing away from that site, though, so I believe Kozi has made the call to fall away, as Nova is doing exactly that.
Now, I love this start to the round because you can see both members trying to save, but I just want to point out that whilst we saw that aggression from B and ultimately Chiefs ended up going B, the Bomb and another one of his teammates, I think it might have even been Chris Owell and Lightstep, they were actually back towards mid. There was no intent early on, as we see Kozir and I think it was also Nova teaming up there. There was no intent early on to commit to B, but based off those frags they were able to get Pietro very early on, and again now, they did recognise that B had been opened up and they did rotate accordingly. But they're the sort of free rounds that we talk about by starting out with perhaps a default or a set objective in mind, but not necessarily a set execute. They're almost those freebie rounds that you can give yourself without having to think too much from an in-game leader perspective.
Yeah, they did. Chiefs also, right then and there, go for the elimination frags there to really put economic hurt on them. In fact, Chriso and Tux falling has just done themselves a little bit more hurt than they would have wanted. As you see, their money, they had to be dropped there in that instance, so they really didn't have that round bonus yet to go for it. Now, they are going to head towards this A main area. As you see, 3 members of Chiefs just sitting in that A main with the 4th outside, about to throw a little pop smoke that will go across and sit in this site. Now, I believe this one's straight out of the Trident handbook.
I like this play though, off the back of, I guess, breaking the Vox defense at B, they're now mixing it up and going A. You can see that Vox were almost expecting another B hit because there's 3 members over at that sort of site. They're taking a little bit too long here now because you can obviously see with the benefit of the overlay that RBZ has now rotated as well to make it 3 members at A. But the smokes and flashes will come now into the site, perhaps reminiscent of that Trident attack that you speak of, but Pietro on the lurk won't catch anyone out just yet because they're all rotating through CT spawn. No one in mid to speak of, but Zeusy and Tux, these 2 young Fradies and Chiefs, doing a great job at finding the key frags. Even the in-game leader, Lightstep, is chipping in as well. So all of a sudden, this has really opened up the round. They should now get the plant and left up to Moe and Sicko to try and recover the situation.
Yeah, Zeusy's just been trapped over here at the quad box. That smoke, though, will allow him to get a good A main plan if they can just stop Moe from pushing around that box. So I do believe there is going to be a bit of confusion there as he does get around, does pick up 2 frags quite quickly as well. And now Chriso just in a 1v1 here with Moe. He's just going to dance around this box. He doesn't really have too much information as to where he could be, but they're going to play a very dangerous game nonetheless. Moe does tap. Just drawing Chriso there. He does know where it is, but he's going to stick it. Now Chriso's recognised this and takes it down. 3rd round on the board for Chiefs, and a good round win there as they will break Vox Eminor's economy.
Yeah, well done by Chriso there. I think the bomb was, like you said, whilst Zeusy had a little bit of trouble initially finding some security to get it down, the placement in which he did choose, thanks to that smoke, was quite open. So you could see Moe there unsure whether Chriso was perhaps behind the quad box or whether he was elsewhere. So I think that added to the ease with which Chriso eventually closed out the round. But like you say, Vox on an eco now, but RBZ would make you think otherwise as he absolutely rips the head off Pietro. And Nova, quick to provide some support, does do a little bit of tag damage, falling back to safety, but I'm not sure how RBZ is still alive. He's been able to fall back and reposition himself. He hasn't even taken 1 shot to the chest just yet. You can see the rotation coming in here from Vox as well. It's a good thing that Tux does have the peace of mind to watch behind him, but gets taken down in any case. And could this be the 2nd time tonight that we see Chiefs on the losing end of an anti-eco round? It's all left up to Chris Owell and Lightstep now, but again, Moe catching another member off guard, and all too quickly this is going the way of Vox, at least until Lightstep steps up on the side, does get 3, but can't quite pull the trigger down onto RBZ's head fast enough to get the 4th. And for the 2nd time tonight, Chiefs, the victim of pistols.
Yeah, Vox Eminor not really doing anything out of the box there or anything too special at all. RBZ just getting aggressive in that checker room and harassing the members in B main, and somehow was able to get away completely unscathed as well, and that just created more confusion as the smokes went down, and before you know it, they were being picked apart. As you said, they had members sitting in B main post-plant that weren't watching behind, so...
That's right. One of the key terms that people always talk about at the competitive scene is trading. And by that, people are always talking about the fact that if you are to lose a member, having a teammate close by to make that trade frag. Or revenge fragging, same term. But there was no one there for Chiefs, so as they lost those members one by one, there was no sort of retaliation happening, and Vox were just having a field day. But you can see Chiefs, they can afford to buy up this round. They have got the early frag there and the second, so good work by Lightstep, putting that lower, I guess, strength weapon in the form of a little to good use. We will see, though, he will lose his life in the end as RBZ and Nova go on clean-up duty. They pick up one apiece and we're down to a 3-on-3, but with Zeusy on such low HP, he's almost not much use to his teammate in the sense that he will get the bomb down, but will try to at least, but not much else. But as it is, he does fall. We're all left up to Pietro at Highway. Nova in the site, locking it down, and a 5-on-3 situation gets flipped on its head there. Vox Eminor holding strong.
Yeah, great work from Vox Eminor there. I think RBZ on the rotate did a good job of just creating a distraction for his teammates there to, you know, tie up their attention for a moment, and just the frags fell left, right, and centre, and a 5v3, as you said, ended up being a 2v1 in favour of Vox Eminor. So doing quite well in those sort of situations. Chiefs just not really closing things out, as you say, and not trading well after the fact that they've got the advantage. So they are now on a light by there. Only Pietro affording himself a pistol. And Koze, if only he knew what walked past his crosshair.
He'll know in a second, won't he?
Oh, he's feasting on that. Takes 4, but unfortunately, not the 5th. Lightstep does just knock him on the head there for his trouble. But
I might just point out, though, the difference between what we just saw then and what we saw last night. We saw last night Chiefs being so fast in their game tempo, even when they were losing rounds, such as those sort of eco rounds, when they're not expected to win, they were just charging in and dying on the spot. Something that Sponge from Renegades, our guest caster, was stressing was perhaps the need to slow it down, and we saw them do it then, perhaps just to give themselves a bit of a breather, even if it doesn't necessarily increase their chances of winning the round, but at least perhaps taking some mental notes from last night.
Yeah, they are just slowing things down. Obviously, it works for them on those A hits. They are getting into the site. It's just that sometimes they are stalling once they've taken that site, and that's really where they're... I guess Vox Eminor are doing a good job of just making them stall. So they are just spread across this map, as you see. One in dual, one in A main, and the 3 just located very close to that B with that bomb.
I think Chiefs fortunate here that Vox didn't have the counter boost in mid in mind, because there was no one actually watching. It's quite a defensive position that we saw Pietro watching mid from there. Definitely trying to, I guess, fit into a set strategy that they've got in mind. It does look as though the strategy will be a fake A, so smokes and flashes go down. Zeusy does rip the head off Sicko there at forklift, and you can see the bomb tucks. I think Chriso and Pietro even walking into the B side. So Koze does a good job, but he's not to know that that's all there is at the A site. Meanwhile, Moe with the P90 putting all 50 bullets to good use as he does drop 2 frags. It's left Tux in a 1-on-2. The only thing he has going for him that he did have some space to work with both Vox members quite far away, but he's actually gone for the fake plant twice, not knowing, of course, that they're so far away, and he's just given up that small little advantage they did have. Has 59 points of health trapped in the site. He's got one member coming from B main and one coming from Heaven here, so gonna need to get a read on that. Does drop the Heaven member, so Koze is down, just left up to Nova, but look how deep into the site Nova's managed to get without being detected just yet. You can see him there using the smoke to his advantage. I think Tux might be aware though. He is aware. They're almost dancing around the smoke perfectly here with perfect harmony, but you see Nova there touching the bomb, and the smoke grenade lets us see that they just stroll past each other. But Tux, great job there of closing out that 1v2. If only they could see with X-Ray what we could see there. But I like the fact that Nova got so deep into the side. I didn't like the fact that he then sort of sidetracked and went around the outside of the smoke. I think he was almost better served going straight up and trying to catch Tux off guard in the middle of the site rather than almost dancing around and trying to hide for a little bit longer. As it was, great intelligent play by Tux to make the right read and use the smoke to his advantage.
That was fantastic to watch from the X-ray perspective, but nonetheless, as you can see, the win bonus there not covering Chiefs' losses. 2 of them there sitting on Galil, so and Pietro on an ump. Now they are going to place a little bit of emphasis here, a little bit of pressure on mid, trying to get that pick. They did tag Nova down early, but Maui's, I believe, sitting in that B site with the AWP, supported by RBZ, and They are just taking the time about it. They are slowly getting themselves out mid there as we see Chriso just get his way to the vent. Moe cleans him up though, all too easily with that AWP in B, and they are still keeping 2 members towards this B site. So Chiefs just going to take that bomb, move towards A.
Well, that's right. You can see, I think, off the back of the fact that perhaps a few smokes had blocked Nova out of mid. Zusi has been able to get to highway here, so they'll be aware now. Citro does get a tag onto him, but can't finish the job. He'll rotate in time fast enough to take down Tux, but now he's scared of Zusi. He knows that he's close by, and he finds a hiding smoke or hiding spot in a smoke that temporarily gives him some sort of security, but not for long as Zusi gets that frag. We're down to a 3-on-3, and with the bomb planted, Vox will need to retake this. Nova gets taken down there as he tries to move into the forklift. Zusi doing a fantastic job. Picks up what is his, I think, 3rd frag for the round, and he wants a bit more. He spots out Moe. Gets the 4th in the end with a nice headshot there. And we talked up the explosiveness and the raw talent that Zusi does have. And that 4K there, I think, a perfect example. Getting in the face of Vox Eminor and just dropping them left, right, and centre.
Yeah, just doing a great job as Zusi, the former teammate of Nova. And a very early Chiefs iteration, doing a lot of damage there. A great little 3K to end the round. And that's what Chiefs have been struggling with, that post plant.
4K.
4K, well, even better. Yeah. But the 3K did end the round nonetheless. But they're just taking things really slowly, as you see, a really passive position from Pietro. Outside B main, just halting any push that RBZ and Moe had in mind. In fact, they've actually gone for that push in mid as they do pick themselves up a gun. So Moe doing good work there with that rotation. Now he does fall quite quickly to Lightstep. It grabs a second as well out mid, so just denying them the opportunity to grab that gun, at least momentarily. Sicko though tries his luck. Lightstep equal to the challenge though, and that bomb will make its way towards A, where the only member of Vox is.
I was having flashbacks then to the previous 2 anti-eco rounds that they lost. When they lost 2 members, I thought it was quickly going the same way. Fortunately for Chiefs' sake, Lightstep, the name leader, did able to manipulate that position in mid to get himself 3 frags. Good use of the smoke as well, and they will clean out the round now by the looks of it, with only RBZ the sole remaining member of Team Vox. But for a moment there, I just had those flashbacks, Jim.
Yeah, you're fairly traumatised by it. I can clearly tell that. But look, RBZ just making away. Communicated that gun was down in mid. He did pick it up accordingly, and is now going to stake his claim at Hide and Go Seek Champion 2015. He does take Tux down, so another expense for Chiefs. He does change his position slightly, and it's not going to be long before Lightstep does fall as well. So great work from RBZ, saving that AK and taking 2 frags for his team as well. Now, is he going to realise Pietro's just around the corner here? Will he pick up the next frag? Oh, ever so close. Saved by the end of the round. Not sure who was, but both of them were perhaps.
There was no winner in that exchange, I think it was fair to say. I think the crosshair placement from both in the end decided almost out of fairness not to shoot at each other, but as it was, we will see a buy round coming in here. Chiefs, they can afford to keep buying, so whilst they lost a few weapons at the end there in the hunt for RBZ, they had enough in the bank to battle forward AKs again this round. You can see from a Chiefs, from a Vox Eminor perspective, they are playing a little bit differently this round in the sense that they've got 2 members there close towards mid. They've been quite static in their approach so far, having and persisting with a 2-on-2 setup with 2 at A, 2 at B, and 1 in mid. But perhaps just recognising the ease with which Zusi was able to creep out mid on the previous gun rounds, and also I think Chriso, they have tried to fortify it a little bit. But you can see a few smokes and flashes. Well, quite a few actually now with the vision of the X-ray getting thrown over into the A site. Pietro on the lurk in mid, so this is probably a key sign if you're a Vox team member that something else is going down, because Pietro normally away from his team's forces. They will now move into the A site. Nova and Moe though doing a fantastic job of really stopping them in their tracks, but don't get too comfortable because Zusi, the last member alive, has already got 2 frags for the round. Will need to finish with 4 though to close it out. He's got RBZ and Nova to contend with, but both of these members, both of the Vox, will be fully aware about how dangerous Zusi can fully be.
Now people will be wondering why he actually turned his back and just momentarily went to A main. He actually just faked the camera then, as the death cam does extend for quite a period of time, and it's going to make him move into A here. As you see, both members of Vox Eminor took that fake quite well, and now they're just going to be behind in A main, and they're going to have to get their hurry on into this A site, as now Zusi has the plant. The time is ticking. Whether they'll stick together or not will remain to be seen. He does spot out RBZ. Takes a little bit of damage as well, but Nova on the flank there, doing a good job, backing his teammate up quite well. So it was well played from Zusi, at least in the sense that he got the plant, but unfortunately not able to convert that 2v1 there. That was crucial in them getting around 6-all the score. Not a bad half from Chiefs with the slight CT advantage at all, but
7-6, I think. I think the score at the top might have just been a little bit delayed in updating with the GoTV relay. I think detailing from Australia to Europe back to Australia again. It goes around the world a few times, but in any case, I think, yeah, maybe more. But Zusi, well played in getting the plan. I think perhaps a little bit slow and ultimately didn't get that frag onto RBZ at forklift. He would have obviously set himself up with a better chance had he got that quite quickly. But as it was, that's all a thing of the past. We do see Chiefs on a force buy here. For Chriso, it's meant a Mac 10, but you wouldn't know it's a buy in the sense that 4 members have seemingly just dropped where they stood. And the Mac 10, the weakest of the lot, is now the sole remaining member, and Vox vanishing like a flash. You could see them trying to change the tempo there, moving very quickly out mid. Perhaps a bit of a B split on the mine because there was 1 member in B main and 3 in mid. Perhaps trying to utilise the vents there, but they didn't utilise much other than the weapons which they held for a few seconds.
Yeah, just engaging in a spray battle there where Nova eventually comes out the victor, but only before taking 98 damage for his trouble. So Chris just very close to that $600 bonus. 1 stray bullet would have done the job there, but nonetheless now last round of the half, they are going to pour everything they've got into it. As you see, they can only afford Tech 9's armor and a little bit of utility, so let's just see whether or not they do choose, and it looks to be some sort of A execute they are going to go for, I believe. Another one from the Trident handbook.
I think you're right, because you can see the smokes being thrown over. So they've executed very early in the round. With 1 minute 20, they're already onto the A site. Pietro watching the backs, but definitely the bulk of the action will be in the A site. Siko does get 1. Hasn't got many this half, but 1 frag there will help slow down the rush until at least Chriso and Tux have their say. They get 1 apiece. They're able to recover those weapons as well, which Vox did hold. So that'll certainly bode well for this retake here. You can see 3 members of Vox streaming up towards A, 2 from truck, 1 from the highway. Chiefs going for a lifting little boost there at quad, trying to get some vision onto the highway, but nades like that will certainly not help their cause. They do lose 1 member, but great job here, using the strong weaponry which they've recovered to try and close out the round. Moe there, whiffing his shots with the pistol, and well, he eventually does take down 1. It's left up to Chriso. If he'd finished the job earlier, this round would be over, but Chriso, in the smoke, can't quite see. He recognises there's not much time and charges towards the bomb, knowing that Moe must surely be on the defuse, and does take him down in the end. But 8-7 to Vox, but in hindsight, knowing that Chiefs lost 2 anti-eco rounds there, probably not the best half from Chiefs in the context of how they played. They've probably got to be happy with 7 though, because they were quite sloppy, and I think 7 rounds is quite a decent score given a little bit how sloppy they were playing.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Now, just quickly rewind a little bit to that round. The thing I liked about that round was they executed early. Those smokes actually locked out the rotation from helping in that site. So that meant they only had to take on 2 guys in that A site, and they did a great job of doing that. So a variation on a smoke execute working quite well for Chiefs there. But as you said, there are, I do certainly feel that they could have been more convincing in that half had they have controlled their anti-eco rounds a little bit better. Yeah,
it's something that the team have, I guess, a nightmare that they've had in the past. Certainly it's troubled them where they've been quite strong on gun rounds, but all of a sudden when they've got the rifles and their team have pistols, that's where they struggle a little bit. So something still to think about there clearly for those guys. We can see on the pistol though, the aggression coming out here from Lightstep. He's pushed up very close to mid, does lay down a smoke, and I thought for a moment he would push through, but definitely looks as though Vox have B in mind. You can see all 5 members making their way there, and Pietro's the only one who's in the site. He is up at heaven, so he should get an early spot, and that he does, but he's staying and fighting, and he's showing his head for too long there. There was no need to commit in that sort of situation and just stand out in the open, asking to be taken down. Vox now have control of the site. The bomb will get planted. We're in a 5-on-4. It's going to be difficult to retake for Chiefs here because we've got 4 members, Jim, coming from the same choke point.
That's it. It's going to have to be a lot of trading here from Chiefs, as they simply just picked apart. They met with a wall of Vox Eminor, and just a little bit too easy for them.
You should see the Chiefs, I think they actually had 3A for the bulk of that round. So perhaps, I mean, I know we've said that we haven't seen Vox as their current 5 playing cache before, so perhaps not a direct counter strat or read. Perhaps that was more so something that they were more comfortable with or have success with in the past, stacking up the A side and relying on their ability to retake B. But I think it's never easy when you lose a member very early on, specifically the solo member of the B side.
echo there just shows us the Pro 90, Pro OS. Pietro falling at the B side as well. So already 2 members down. But yeah, I think you're 100% correct there with that pistol round analysis. Just Chiefs taking a gamble on it not being B at all, as Zusi does take 1 frag for good measure at A. Tries to find that second, does get the bomb down in A main, will slow the plant down a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough to try and help them win the round, as both Lightstep and Crusoe out make their way towards this A site. They're going to make their way through the A main as you see them flanking both through T spawn. So that bomb has gone down. That being said, RBZ is a long way away from his team should anything go down in this site. And over there, does get the spot onto Crusoe. His position and that of his teammates have been communicated, but Lightstep's not going to take that fight. He's just going to try and take that P90 and simply get away, but this is where the lurk of RBZ comes in handy, as he narrowly misses him jumping that gap, but recognises he's made his way to T-spawn. They will fight to the death, and Lightstep does fall to RBZ. Now, Vox Eminor just streaking away a little bit in this matchup.
Start to pull ahead. It's certainly not panic time yet for Team Chiefs. I mean, they haven't even faced a full gun round. I was just going to say, that would have been quite a frustrating death, I think, for Lightstep it was at the end there. Whilst he was trying to save his gun, you could see how quickly RBZ, you pointed out, how quickly he'd vacated the A site, going on the hunt, and I don't think Lightstep would have been expecting to be facing a terrorist in close quarters at that time, so early into the bomb timer still. So I think it would have been quite frustrating. As it was, you can see that a few of the members of Chiefs have reinvested into pistols here. So Lightstep with the CZ, trying to put it to good use, but with the range in between himself and Nova, it was only ever going to end one way. You can't help but feel Nova taking him down there without losing 1 point of health. 5 members still alive for Team Vox Eminor. They're quite content just to keep the pace slow. This is something we've seen from them time and time again, regardless of really what specific 5 that they've had. I think it's just a style that they've adopted under their senior leadership group in the team that have been there quite some time. They now will move on to the A site though, off the back of getting those 3 frags. The bomb will get planted, and Moe has all the information that he needs and all the aim that he needs to get the job done.
Yeah, 4 easy frags from them there in that round. Now, this is the important round. This is the linchpin round in this half. This is Chiefs' first gun round. And it's important that they lock out the site convincingly, but Tux does have that AWP as we predicted, so they haven't gone for any head armor though, so I do believe they're playing a long sustainable game. Unfortunately, if they do come up against a pistol in that situation, because he has to smoke himself out before being tagged down furiously. Now Lightstep does call it their R2 up on that boost, but nonetheless Vox Eminor have taken quick mid control with 3 members out, including that 1 man up there on the boost. So Chiefs just happy to give it to them. They really don't have too many options to retake there, as now all 3 members of Vox Eminor just setting themselves up in mid, and if anyone gets a little bit too adventurous, they're going to peek. RBZ is ready for this boost, as he does pop Pietro there. Great game sense from RBZ to be able to pick that out. Something that would occur. Now they are taking a little bit of damage across the map here. Lightstep does re-peek mid and pick up Kozer in the meantime, as Chris picks up another member of the Tide. Now they are going to go towards this B side. They have locked him out from heaven there. Lightstep is just content to sit in the smoke. Tries to make his way through. Nova is a little bit wiser to that fact. And just Tux and Zusi remain. That bomb has gone down the B side. They are still a bit of distance away though.
This is definitely a safe situation. I think if the guys could pause and almost think through this decision, they'd decide otherwise, because a 3-on-2, one of which Tux does have an AWP in hand, that's ever so expensive. I'm so glad to see them running in the other direction, because they can still put together a solid buy next round. But can I just point out, and I talked about that round that just went by, but Moe, 30 frags. This is the 19th round at the moment. Moe, 30 frags leading the charge. We said that looked a little bit emotional on Twitter and seemed a little bit emotional after yesterday's disappointing loss to Legacy. Well, he's come out firing tonight with the point to prove. Zusi there does lose his life in the end. Tux does survive with the AWP, but hats off to Moe, the fragging capacity that he's showing. I think we've said in the past quite fairly that outside perhaps Chiefs and Team Immunity, those 2 teams aside, Moe's probably been the form player in Australia over the last few months with the fragging that he's been producing, and certainly making that claim again tonight. But we will see Chiefs here. They are on a full spy. Good decision given that Tux does have an AWP survive. We know how strong these pistols can be, and players such as Pietro with a pistol in hand and also Zusi can be so dangerous, but Lightstep has fallen early. The team didn't need that. When you've got an AWP in hand, You need to be surviving as long as possible to give him as much opportunity as possible to get the frags.
That's exactly right. Would have preferred to see them maybe stick together with that Pied Piper side, but as you said, Case is a map that really doesn't allow it. There are so many choke points across the map, so it doesn't really allow the CTs the option to do so. Now they are going to make the way towards this A site, so Chiefs do have 3 members here. It could be an interesting confrontation if it does come to fruition, as Moe's just sitting in that door. Does get spotted out there, and Pietro's just content to sit at the quad box. Will be mollied out of his position momentarily there, but narrowly escapes it as Chris does pick up 1 frag and 2nd frag for his trouble with the P250 as Chris picks up his 3rd for the round. Massive work from him and turning things into favour. Now it's all to do for Cozzy as he makes his way up the highway, but they have changed positions here and have great crossfires up over this bomb. Will he catch Tux here out though? That's the question. As Tux does have his back turned and does turn and pivot on a dime, simply flattening Cozzy.
Great work there by, yeah, absolutely amazing there from the heaven, or the catwalk as some people refer to it. That's probably the more accurate description, where picked up 3 frags, but they were crisp frags as well, even able to recover an AK. So by virtue of, I guess, picking up, what have we got there, 2 AKs that round, that's going to save them a lot of money that they don't have to invest this round. They can afford to pimp themselves out with lots of utility grenades to really aid their cause. You can see Vox, they had success on the first gun round, taking control of mid. That's the plan this round as well. And you can see that it's almost no one there from Chiefs to contend with it all, because we got 2 in B and 3 over at the A site. So bolstering each of the site defenses, and as they go to focus their attention on mid now, Vox well prepared for the challenge. They take down Chris O'Wao early, and now they really have their choice of sites because they've got mid control, they've got numbers advantage, and we can see 1 poor member at the B side in Pietro is all there is stopping Vox having control. He will be calling for assistance. Perhaps those utility grenades that he can see being expended in Checkers will be the sign that a few more enemies are on their way. Tux will be there to provide some sort of support though, and does get a nice frag there onto Cos, so that'll be what's needed. And crucially, it's drawing the attention away from Pietro, who was hiding in the corner. He will get 1 frag, can't quite get a second though, but great trading from Tux as we're talking about. That revenge fragging, perfect illustration right there. RBZ not having enough time to reposition himself, and Tux, we talked up his CT side AWPing. What better illustration? He's got 3 this round and proving just how valuable it was in him saving it just a few rounds ago. Can he get the 4th? There's 1 member here in the form of Sicko. He has the bomb, not much HP, and might have even left if Tux can get his crosshair temporarily onto him. He will step out from behind the bomb box, and great shot. Sicko got the drop on him, but Tux sealing the deal. 4 for the round. And
he made it look so easy, didn't he? Pietro did a good job of changing his position once he had that sight. Tux coming to his teammates' aid quite well there, and nice 4K in defense of that site. Able to trade quite quickly. Obviously, Pietro fell in that situation, but great site defense.
We talked about, I guess, distracting and the great job Tux did there of taking away the focus off the T's. Even more so because he had an AWP. There's nothing more, I guess, attention drawing than the sound of an AWP rifle there. So all the T's had their vision solely on CT spawn where they knew Tux last was, and Pietro able to get the drop on RBZ. Or 1 member there, I think, was taken down by RBZ, but bought a lot of time for his team.
And they do combust onto this A side as Nova picks up a nice entry frag there at the forklift, and Last Step falls all too easily as well, and that was just an eco round from these guys as they haven't really invested much other than a few upgraded pistols and a pop flash, but it's done the job in getting into A. Nova will be smoked out of his hidey hole there, and now the 2 members to contend with in the site. But there are still 4 members of Vox remaining. Pietro does pick up a Quake-like shotgun frag, and RBZ with that flank, doubling them there almost with that Tech 9.
Jim, that's the 3rd NT-Eco that they've lost this match, I believe.
That is the 3rd, yes.
It is the 3rd. Well, they currently trail by 4 rounds, so if we count those 3 as potential could-have-beens, but then also, I guess, the flow-on effect when some of those rounds were resetting their economy. Oh, this is hard to watch from a Chiefs perspective because they're so close, but really they should be so many steps in front with these rounds that they're throwing away. We can see again, Moe's opened it up well. He's been fragging so well tonight. I think that's now 32 that he's up to, and Sicko lays a nice little hand grenade at the feet there of Zusi, so he will go down. This was a forced buy from Chiefs, so it's important that they keep fragging. Lightstep has got 1, but they need some more. You can see almost all 7 players now at the A sites as Vox commit, but all 3 members of Chiefs there to greet them as they have rotated very quickly, so I don't know if they'll be prepared for this sort of defense at the side on the back of having already got 2 frags there. Chriso doing a great job picking up a triple. Pietro also chiming in with 1 as well there. So great work by Chiefs quickly rotating. And really, Vox is not prepared for what eventually turned out to be a 5-man A defense.
Yeah, just stalling a little bit on that sight hit, I felt. They had the advantage there and just allowed that third member of Chiefs to rotate. And in the end, it was the difference because Chriso had enough time to just simply pick up 3 from the catwalk.
I think it was a deliberate strategy because Vox now find themselves on eco, so they're probably in the favourable position now, Jim.
Yeah, as we see those eco rounds just working wonders for them. Nonetheless, Moe does have an AK though, and why not? When you're fragging as well as he is, why not have the AK on point for your team? Now, Chiefs are about to encounter a very similar eco round here from Vox Eminor, but this time they're dealing with it a little bit better. Do actually have early frags now. Zusi does come into contact with that AK of Moe. Now, he's only got 8 HP, and he's the only member of his team left, and he's going to walk through that smoke, catching Chriso unawares, and nervous moments there as the Mag 7 really wasn't going to do the range for his team. But look at the frag count for Moe, 35 for 15.
He's going absolutely ballistic at the moment. You said he was the sole member who had an AK in his hands that round. The rest of his team on eco, well, he got 3 frags with it. So he is just churning them out, but Vox is still, despite Moe going ballistic, they're only just ahead at the moment. And we're talking about all these rounds that Chiefs are seemingly throwing away in the sense that they're losing anti-eco. So, I mean, you can't ask for much else from Moe at the moment. I think the rest of Vox, though, really need to be stepping up and supporting him because with the rounds that they're winning, in the fashion that they're winning, I think they should be further ahead. But Moe, he is on the boost here, so in a dangerous position, but you can note that he hasn't yet stepped, so would have been boosted up early on, but just content at the moment to hold there and have that surprise factor for later in the round. His teammates, though, will head towards A. Lightset does get the drop there onto Cozzer, so the in-game leaders going toe-to-toe. We can see Nova, though, gets into the site, does get 1 frag, and tucks under a lot of pressure here. Great shot there at close distance. Low HP, low range there, and really makes the shot when he can have that opportunity, but Moe in mid. His presence just can't be understated at the moment. Gets 2 frags there, a 2-on-2 situation. 37.
And more importantly, Chiefs now on an eco round. Look at their money. They're not going to force it. They're just going to try and play the overtime game here and buy up in the next round. So, unfortunate for Chiefs there in that regard. But Vox Eminor just looking so strong. In particular, Moe leading from the front with his team. Pietro there is going to push into B main, subsequently dealt with by RBZ all too easily. Now, they do have 3 members on this A site, just in wait, but RBZ, just that solo man over towards the B site, doing a good job of getting a lot of info for his team. Picking up a second frag for his trouble as well, but that bomb has not really committed to anything at all. As Lightstep takes his chances in A main, does pick up 2 frags for Sicko. Excellent work, looking for that third as he does find it. Recoil control from these Vox Eminor players is certainly something to be admired at the moment.
Well, that's right. Like you said, Chiefs here, they've got 4 rounds. They need to string them all together. Their only chance here on this map now is obviously to take it to overtime and try and win in that fashion. You can see they have obviously full support, but given their financial state, I think they had about 3.5k. It's meant that some players, Pietro has a shotgun in hand, some players have SMGs. It's a compromised buy to say the least. We can see a nice HE nade there. It does almost scare them away from the boosters. Both Nova and Moe take a little bit of damage. But more importantly, I think the pressure that was being applied from mid scared them away. They will move towards A though. They've had so much success there really this half. And there's 4 members of Vox lying in wait, soon to be 5 as Cozzer collects the bomb and heads their way as well. So a lot of responsibility here for Tux to try and halt this approach or at least stall for as much time as possible to allow for that rotation. And he's done that quite well. Good use of utility grenades. Does flash them, but does get taken down. Zeus's got 1. They need the rest of the teammates, though, to step up. Pietro with 1. Make it a double on that. Shotgun proving its worth at close range. But in any case, we still find ourselves in a 2-on-2. Nova and Moe up against Lightstep and Chriso. Wow, the bomb will get planted. You can see Nova there throwing that flash grenade, trying to buy himself a few seconds of safety to get it planted. Not to know that he probably had a few more up his sleeve because the CTs weren't that close, but a flank coming in here from Lightstep from door. They will hear his footsteps though, but too late to react there from Moe. I think that Nova would have called that noise he was hearing, but Moe looking in the wrong direction, gets caught off guard, and Chiefs win the round 15-12.
15-12 the score. They do buy themselves, I guess, some reprieve in this So we do see another buy round coming out from Vox Eminor, so they still have to weather that storm just yet. So we will see hopefully some variation coming out from Vox Eminor as they have hit that site multiple times now. They are taking swift control of mid, as you see, 2 up the boost there through the magic of X-Ray. Now they have control of mid. They did pick up Zeusy quite early, so they do already have that man advantage. Now they are going to put pressure towards the vent, but that bomb is just sitting back in the A main. Now Vox Eminor have taken complete control of mid, but in this situation, Chiefs look to have just consolidated the sites and hedged their bets there, as we see 2 on either side. Looking at the radar there, but I think B might be the objective here for this team, as you see the bomb go through B main quite quickly. It is all going to be up to, I believe, Pietro and Tux, the 2 defenders here at B, as Pietro falls quite early in the picture. Tux picks up 1 for the good measure, but this is going to be locked out quite quickly with the Molotovs and the flashes that do come through. Now Nova is on point here. The bomb does get tossed over to him in quite a intelligent maneuver either way, as Cozzy is just sitting in that vent room there. Sicko and Ubby's there to pick up the frags in the meantime, but Chris O'Well has a lot to do and unfortunately unable to do it for his team.